Let's talk about the three kinds of money you need to be making in real estate. What's up, guys? My name is Ben Day. I run Lionshare Bookkeeping, Landlord CFO, where we like to talk about the truth behind real estate accounting, finance, taxes, back office, and automation. And today I want to talk about something that is really near and dear to my heart because this is where we see our most successful clients get their edge. And this is about how they make their money. At the end of the day, it's like real estate investing is just buying houses that need a little work and improving them and then stacking them on, doing a little burst strategy, whatever that you have going on in order to grow your investment portfolio. But the folks that get real steam behind their investment are making money in multiple ways. They really understand this whole piece and they're willing to do whatever it takes to add on more income streams or replace income streams when it doesn't make sense anymore in order to really scale up their business. So today I want to share these with you and help you kind of begin to plan your own path to success. Now, number one in our list is active, easy income. And honestly, this is number one on our list because it's something that you're going to understand the easiest. And it's something that we all understand. And this is really simply, this would be like a W-2 or an hourly or a salary position where you're not an independent contractor, you're making money. And the reason that we want to make money like this, especially at the beginning, and especially for a significant amount of time, is that it is super easy for everybody to understand, especially your lenders. If you're making a W-2 that is so well documented and systemized and a part of the banking and lending culture that if you walk into the bank and say, here are my pay stubs, they can give you a loan pretty darn quick, especially when you're first getting started. Now, the more properties you have, the more harebrained stuff that you start doing, this gets more and more complicated. But if you walk in and saying, hey, I'm a general contractor, but I don't ever pay myself a paycheck and it's kind of job to job and it's inconsistent, now suddenly you're talking about a lot more underwriting, a lot more work, which you can do. And it's absolutely something that your bookkeeping, your accounting, and your finance should begin to provide for you if you're doing it the right way. But at the end of the day, it's just easier when you have something that is easy for people to understand. So our number one way that you need to be making money with, especially in real estate, as you're getting started and into kind of the medium term of your investment career, is some sort of active, easy income like having a W-2. Now, if for whatever reason that W-2 income just isn't available to you, that's just not the path for you, and you need to begin making money in other ways, you can do that. We just need to begin to add a little seasoning to that, a little bit of time and duration, and we need to keep the spirit of that money alive. Now, when we think about like a W-2, that's really like trading your time for dollars. You're clocking in, you're clocking out, you're making hourly wage. And this is something that we want to continue on if you can't make a W-2. You need to have a way where you know that you can go clock in, make some money, and clock out and do whatever you can on the side in order to generate the other two kinds of money that you need to make. So maybe that's running your own property management business where you know that you can show up to work, do your job, and get paid, and that's the end of it, right? You know that way as a property manager. Or maybe you've got some other sort of side hustle like running a bookkeeping business, or maybe you're a coach. Maybe you have, other businesses that you run on the side that are paying you somewhere where you know that, if I absolutely had to, I could go clock in, make this money, clock out. Now I've got cash in the bank and I can go do deals. That's going to be really critical for you. We're looking for a little bit of money that you can go make right now in this category. So again, as some sort of W-2, property management, any sort of side hustle where it's consistent. And then some people manage to get this done with wholesaling. They build their marketing and their systems and they decide, hey, our consistent money that we're going to make all the time is wholesaling. I know that if I clock in, I call this many people, I will close a deal. It will be for $5,000. I can make $60,000 a year, no sweat, and they're off to the races, right? Some people are like that. It really depends on your systems. Obviously, a W-2 is the easiest way to understand this, and having a more robust business built out is kind of the more difficult route, but it does also give you some financial freedom, some time and location freedom if you build it out correctly. This is the piece that is the most powerful for every investor when they're first getting started, because you got bills. You can't wait 3-6 months for big checks. You've got to get paid pretty consistently to keep food on the table, keep gas in the tank. So that's our first really important way to make money. Number two on our essential ways that you need to be able to make money is big checks that are project based. Is the easiest way to begin to understand this. Now, what we like to do here is we like to say that if you're generating money like in a W-2 or a side hustle or a business or whatever that's consistent, you know you can make that, you want to begin to use your personal finance and your budget and all of that to pay for your life and have extra money left over. And you can begin to take that extra money that's left over and put it into something that is more of a project that will generate a significant amount of cash, but it's also potentially risky and there's no guarantee. The easiest way to understand this is flips. So if you think about any real estate investor that's got like multiple businesses, what we'll most often see is like somebody's a property manager or a wholesaler who does 2, 3, 4 flips a year that generates a bunch of extra cash, but they're also being able to live off of their wholesaling or their property management business. Now suddenly we've got a little bit of money all the time and these really big checks that we can do even bigger things with later. And that's where the magic begins to happen. Now, the relationship here is important. If all you do is flip properties, you're going to have some really skinny months. There's going to be months where there's no food in the fridge. That's just kind of part of the risk of the business, unless you are an absolute rock star about it. But I have yet to meet a house flipper who actually has made that happen, right? If there's a house flipper, there's usually somebody making some money that's paying the bills in the meantime. And that's fine, but like you can't just jump into the big projects. Jumping into flipping is super cool, but you're taking a lot of risk there and you need to have some sort of safety net. So we really like it when somebody has some sort of W-2 or an established business that's paying their bills right at the beginning of their funnel of money, if you will, and then they can take the excess cash to use to flip houses, or maybe you're a general contractor, or maybe you're in a business where you can get paid a whole bunch of money at one go if you perform a project or a service. And if you can take the extra cash from your W-2, funnel it in to grow this investment in this kind of big checks, project-based cash flow, you're going to see just an exponential growth in your cash position, which is really powerful for the money that you need in step 3. Listen, we're talking about a lot of moving parts here in the real estate space. There's a lot of different things that you need to be tracking and coding, getting approved for loans, filing your tax returns, maximizing your tax deductions so you don't pay too much, but also making sure that you pay enough in taxes, you show enough income that you qualify for the loans. And this gets hairy pretty quickly. So we've put together a free class that you can find down below on exactly how we get this done for all kinds of real estate investors all over the country every day. I'll see you there. Now, step 3 is return on investment. I've played around with how I want to call this, and this is the easiest way to begin to understand this. Because at the end of the day, your first kind of money is active income. Got to go clock in to make cash. Your second kind of income is big projects that aren't necessarily consistent. You're not getting paid every 2 weeks flipping houses unless you have a business that flips houses at scale, right? But if you're making a little bit of money in a W-2 and you're flipping 3-4 houses a year, and then you're taking those flip proceeds and you're investing it into rental property that then is paying you a rent check that you really don't have to do a lot with. Now suddenly that return on investment, both in appreciation and depreciation and tax benefits and the extra excess cash flow coming around into your kind of active income where you're managing it and then you're flipping it and then you're adding rental properties and then you're got rental income coming in that you're managing and flipping and growing rental properties. Now suddenly we've got a machine that is feeding itself and you're just going to scale outright. This is the most powerful piece. It is really hard, though, to scale the rental side of the business with some speed without the big checks. If you don't have a way to add $15, $30, $100,000 in just free cash to your life, coming up with those down payments in succession, even if you're doing the BRRRR strategy, it's just going to be difficult to raise that kind of cash very quickly without going outside. Now, if you're an expert money raiser, then maybe your big project is just finding extra money around. Maybe if you have some sort of consistent income and you can raise a whole lot of money that you can use to scale your investment side, now we're in business. Now we're having a good time, but you have to have all three. They're all really dependent on each other. So really fundamentally, we believe that if you're going to get launched into this, you need to start thinking through, okay, how can I make a little bit of active income? I know I could go clock in, make cash, and clock out, and go do whatever I need to do next. And then how can I begin to make big project kind of checks? How can I get paid a whole lot at one time if I do it right? And then how can I take all of this excess cash that we're generating to generate passive income that'll loop back around on a return on investment to exponentially grow what we have going on. And then you just repeat the process. So as you're building out your business and your finances, really be thinking through how you can begin to implement each one of these steps in your own life. I'm not telling you to go be a property manager or a wholesaler. I'm not telling you to stay at your W-2. You can do whatever you want. You just have to be aware of the risks involved with starting in one place of the funnel as opposed to another, and what kinds of challenges you're going to encounter if you don't have all three of these pieces in play. So let us know down below what it is that you want us to talk more about, what you think about all of this, and what kinds of advice you're looking for in the financial space in making money, and how to build this structure out for yourself, for your family, for your business. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe down below. Let us know what you're thinking. Thank you so much. We'll see you in the next video.